Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Backpacktrader training room for Thursday, May 24th. And we had a very quick, long setup right at market open on the YM. Now that was too fast to get hold of. So we will wait for a new setup there. Soybeans was flat, or actually was in a long trade, and stopped out on a break even, so was flat. And we have a short that we should be in at 88.50. Actually, that right on the 50 EMA, I would drop that to 88 even. And so you just got triggered in that just now. And our target is 85.75. Short on the YM, I would adjust that to probably 60s, 68. And a long on the YM now at 91. Same thing, I would adjust that to 93. And that did trigger in. Hitting money management and target 1, only a 16 tick target, so I would go to target 2 with that one. And it just hit target 2. So I would say this short was most likely avoidable. And stopping out for a single tick at 94 if you use the adjusted entry. But a 26 tick target 2, and that should be a one and done session. And soybeans hitting target 1 and target 2. Stop now at 87.25. Heating oil coming in with a initial short. 9 seconds through the entry to money management, so possibly tradable. That's a target 3 and should be a tick on the trailer moving it to 98 once you hit target. No trigger on the long at this point, although it's still valid. As we don't have a crossover yet. The long is still valid, but we have a short setup. Actually, no, the long canceled because that was a crossover of the cat lines. $66.49, plenty of time to get into that trade. And soybean stopped out for a one and done session there. No trigger on the short at this point on heating oil. Pound Aussie being very noisy this morning. We had this short was too early, went too far. So our first trade was the long. That just penetrated the 50 EMA. Pulled back, set up a short that would have been an entry down here actually at 39 with the stop and reverse plus key level adjustment. That finally did hit its entry, then comes back and stops and reverses into a long. That looks to be almost to his point of being successful. It's 51, so that would have been 53 for the entry. We're looking at a 65. So yeah, actually target 4 is our actionable target there. Looking to get to, and a big move upward on heating oil. Lots of time to get into that one, so definitely in that. Targets 3 and 4. And stop now at 67.84 and moving up. All right, now that we've got a few moments, take a look at crude. 9 o'clock start time. The long is before our start time. And it looks like you got 7 seconds to the back to the entry, so looks like you're in that one, and this should be a stop and reverse at 44. But wherever that entry ends up being, it's a strong winner, and will definitely get you positive. But would be 12 and 21 for 33 ticks. Our loss would have been from 61 to 44. So 17 times 34. Well, actually, with the stop and reverse, it would have been, you'd still be 1 tick negative unless you took the trailer. And the long trade number 3 stops out at 109.99. So a net loss on the session on the full crude contract. Micro crude. Looks like you get into this short, stops and reverses at 28 into the long, picking up targets 2 and 3 and a nice trail, but targets 2 and 3. And you actually probably end up in the same, well, maybe not. You had very minimal loss there, so that's going to get you to a POQ. Heating oil still trailing the 68.54. And Pound Aussie hitting target. 4 positions coming off at 68. Sorry, I'm concentrating on some trade management here. All right, so pound Aussie doing well, heating oil doing well. Micro crude, marginal back and forth. Full crude was a losing session, unfortunately. Unleaded has a trade back here at 851.59 that meanders about, almost stops out, but comes back, and we have our start time right here, closes up at 6044 with our entry at 6019, and you've got at least 11 seconds to get an order in. So definitely a get in sync trade that you should be in. Going to gets target 2 for 71 ticks and trails all the way down to 5806 from the entry at 6018. So 212 ticks on the trailer, along with 71 on target. Gives you 283 ticks. That's going to be very close to a $1,200 trade this morning. One and done. And we're about 15 minutes away from our 10 a.m. crude session. And we did finally get a stop out on heating oil, 68.84 from the entry at 66.97. So 207 ticks there at the same $4.20 a tick as unleaded gas. So easily an $850 to $900 trade, and that's not counting what we got at target 3. That was 30 ticks. So 237 ticks. That's going to get very close to $1,000. There's some big trades on the alternative energy contracts. Let's take a look at the unleaded on Catapult, 845 startup. Looks like that's probably a get in sync trade set up just before, but literally 14 seconds before, and we had 24 seconds after before it came through. So I would say most likely you're in that trade. It gets targets 2, 3, and 4 and trails all the way down to 6071 from an entry at 6119. So 48 ticks on the trailer. Somewhere between 26 and 46 on your target, depending on which target you're using. So that's a nice opening trade this morning. It looks like we have a break even. And missed that downward move. That's another break even. See you next time, Johnny. Good morning, Miles and Pamela as well. That's the third break-even trade after our initial strong winner. And there is a short that definitely we should be in. Getting target 3 and a modest trailer. But that's 5 winners, so that's should be it for that plan. Let's go up and look at the Russell. See what it did at 9:30. Okay, there's your start. Closing just below the entry. Actually, 2 bars there closing below the entry. And then 30 seconds back up to just right at the stop. Unfortunately, that one's going to be a full stop out. And very likely in sync. So, and then we have a long trade that's something similar. 3 seconds to the second bar. Then you go 6 seconds down to there. 9 seconds down to there. I would say that one definitely has the possibility of being avoided. May have come through too quickly to get an order in. Now let's assume 2 full losses, and then we get another short. All right. So looking back at this short, 1 second to the second bar, 3 seconds. Yeah. 3 seconds to the third bar, and money management on the fourth. Well, that took 17 seconds to get there. I would say you got a good chance of getting into that trade. Targets 2 and 3. And nice trail. This is your trade of the morning. Trailing all the way down to 63.6 from the entry at 75.4. So that's 11.8 points. And that would be a trade I would take my playthings and go home and not risk the money that I just made. As there is a full stop on the short side, probably avoidable. Same thing, the long side probably is avoidable as well. Another short side flip. That one's 9 seconds on the reversal. And you get another spike down. So I'm going to 9 seconds to this. So that one, I'm afraid we're going to be in. So that's a third full stop. So your session's definitely over at this point anyway. But one really strong trade, making up for all the noise. And there's the MNQ. Let's look back at 9:34, which would be 8:34 exchange time, 4 minutes in. First trade at 3 seconds after our start. Second bar in 1 second, 2 seconds to the third bar, and 8 seconds to the close of the fourth bar down here. I would say that's in all likelihood avoidable, but if not, you're going to, in all likelihood, you're going to get a full stop out. Three seconds to be on target one, so that's going to be too fast to be traded, I'm sure. A nice result, but I'm sure too fast to be traded. So a loss, a no trade. That one's going to be at 5 seconds to the, that's probably going to be a tradable trade. And so that is a full loss. And we come to the short. 3, 8, 6 seconds. That's another 7. I would say there's a very good chance you're going to get in at that point. You certainly get in here anyway. And that goes to a full stop out, I'm sure. Maybe not. 4 seconds to the stop out. So yeah, you take a full stop. One additional second there. And there's a wick back. So you should get into the short or into the long. At least gets money management. Hits target 2. And out at money management. So that's 2 winners. No, that's 1 winner and 2 losses, actually. Or three losses. Actually, yeah, there's your 3 losses. So that's probably the end of a session. But noisy action on the micro NQ this morning. Questions about anything? That's about all we've got. One thing left would be the micro ES. We have a short trade that it's in from 1450. 11.5 point target one, 5 points to the session low. Three seconds to our crude mini session. Flat there, looking for a new setup. Under 2 minutes. Our last OSOB reading is an overbought reading back here. But notice his trend strength has gone from very strong to very weak in the meantime. Oh, well, we did get a successful short trade, so no OSOB readings, so we're looking for something off of a moving average on a very weak trending market at the moment. Yeah, I won't cover up the micro ES. That's making some progress. It's made its fixed 5 point target 20 ticks, or yeah, 20 ticks. But on a $20,000 account, that's a 6 contract trade on the micro. Not likely to get an up trade there. We might, yeah, no, it's just giving us zebra stripes. Micro ES closing in on target one. And there is a short at 94. And they're going quickly through targets 2 and 3, 10 and 14 ticks. So that is a one and done session on the micro crude for the 10 a.m. and stopping for the single tick on the break even if anybody's trailing. All right, and there's target one on the micro ES. So I am looking for questions. MNQ getting active, it looks like. Nice short there. Everything done by 3 minutes after 10, including the 10 a.m. grid session. Now a long on the micro crude. Let's see what full crude did at 10 o'clock. Looks like we got in sync with the SMA short and picked up a target one of 12 ticks and stopping out, looks like for a single tick. Yep. So 13 ticks on the full contract, and it is having a successful long now as well, but one and done on the session. So not taking the long. That has just hit target one. Differences in the charts. Everybody's being very quiet this morning. Looks like I got a fair number of people here, just 5 of you. So at least there's 3 of you haven't said hello this morning. Just watching along. But that pretty much finishes up everything I've got. And there's another case of this long on the full crude was at 111.01. So the break even of the one tick at 02 is a major key level and pulls that back to 99. But once we hit target and are positive, Troy and I both pushed that back up to the 02 and would have stopped out either way. But for one positive 1 tick versus negative 2. With that, folks, I am going to call it a morning, I believe, unless anybody's got questions. And my wife just left for an appointment, so I'm going to miss her, so that won't make a difference. And crude with at least getting money management on the short. Things have slowed down a little bit, but actually it's been pretty quick this morning. All what? 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, like 9 charts, 10, actually 10 different sessions that I've looked at this morning have all been positive. All positive except possibly the pound Aussie and maybe the MNQ. Volatility has slowed down a little bit, I would say, but it's still pretty active. But having that many charts done in by just after 10 o'clock is actually fairly unusual. You've definitely been have had to have been on your toes to catch the trades that have shown up. There's target 2 on the micro ES. So that's turning into a very nice short trade. It's set up at 850 Central. Triggered in the next bar just barely. But then continued from there and nice strong down move. Stop is still at break even, but it's about to start trailing, looks like on this 5-minute bar. Approaching target 3 on the micro ES. That's the only active chart at the moment. And the MNQ and the micro ES both setting session lows, as has the Russell, but the YM still just off of its session lows. Have a good one, Pamela. Picked up 2 or 3 more new viewers. I'm sorry to say that you've come in after all the action this morning. And all 8 or 9 sessions that I had working on the charts are all complete except for the micro ES on the catapult 5-minute chart in a very nice short trade at the moment. Already having hit targets of 11.5 and 17.5 points and working its way down to 23.5 point target 3. Micro NQ was about the only thing this morning I think that, no, that's right. Full crude was in a losing session, and micro on the 9 a.m., 10 a.m. was a winner. Micro crude was marginally profitable at 9 a.m. and solid winner at 10. YM was one and done. Soybeans was one and done. Pound Aussie was a little bit noisy on us, and now it's decided it's not going to get into trades, basically because the trend strength is very low. We are overbought now, so we could get some short trade coming up on the Pound Aussie. Target 3 on the micro ES, $5 a point, and we have netted already on 3 positions, assuming one contract each, but actually we could trade 6 contracts. So if you're trading one to fixed and one to each of the 5 positions, it's 1 contract each. So we've got 5, 16.5, 34, 57.5 points at this point. So that's a $250 trade so far. We still have 2 positions working. And the trailer is starting to trail now. So we have target 4 at 29.5 points. Let me say 57.5. So that would put us at 87 points. Almost a $900 trade if we can get to target 4. Certainly a $900 trade if we get to target 4, and we'll have something off of the trailer. $500 trade, excuse me. It's 450, be about 450 at target 4. So 2 targets and A stop out at 87.25 on soybeans. $28 ticks on the targets. And 5 ticks on the trailer. $33 ticks at $12.50 a tick. That's a $400 trade, $400 plus trade. And micro ES with target 4, 87 points. And the stop currently is at 13.25. Well, it looks like it's going to move down to somewhere around, it's going to move down almost 5 points at the moment. Looks like it'll move to around 08.50, 08.25 to 08.50. And let's see where that one closes, and then I think we'll call it a day. And there we are at 08.50 for the stop. All right, folks. More and more people coming in now after 10 o'clock, and unfortunately, everything that we've got going is done except for the micro ES. And it's been doing quite nicely, but all it has left is the trailer. So at 5 minutes per bar, it's not worth just sitting around here and watching. Any questions? Questions or comments? Anything to start discussion? Right now, I'm trading the micro crude chart, pound Aussie, and just depending on what the what crude does, timing wise, I may trade the micro YM, crude and micro YM on Spotlight, as well as the pound Aussie, and once in a while I'll trade the micro ES catapult. And you'll notice from that list, Don, that for the most part, it's fairly staggered start times. So I try not to be trading multiple charts at the same time. Okay, 305.25 for the micro ES stop. So 9.25 points added to our 87 is 96.25. Just another 3.75 points to get us to a $500 trade. All right, looks like indications that at least for the moment, the down move has found a bottom. A little bit of recovery on M2K, YM, and micro ES. All right, folks. No use in watching paint dry for this one to finish up. I will call it a day, and we will see everybody back tomorrow morning for the regular Wednesday morning session and the crude oil session at 9:30. Crude oil session at 10:30. We will be dark on Monday, that being a Memorial Day holiday, and the crude session next week will be on Thursday, 11. Just a few things for your calendar. Have a good afternoon, and we'll see everybody tomorrow. Have a good one, Miles.